Hi everyone, this is Usha Pandit, your Mindsprings English teacher. Today we are going to do report writing. Report writing is a topic that everyone wants. It's also a topic that's not done very well in schools because for some reason children write stories in the primary and they also seem to be writing stories in the middle school. And then when they come to high school, there is a tendency to say we are working for the exams. There's a choice between story and report, so let's write the story. So they don't write a report. But report writing is a life skill. So when you start university, you will need to write reports if you are the general secretary of the college. When you go to work, you will only write reports and letters. And these are the two most neglected areas in school. So pay attention and make sure that you get your report writing in place because it's a life skill. I must talk to you about the book Writing with Ease, which is my book, available at www.mindsprings.in. It has all the genres, including the reporting genre, which you must know the requirements of. Now I am going to give you the requirements of that genre here, but what happens in the book is it gets explained in detail. So it's worth knowing more about report writing from the book. So let's look at what report writing does. So report writing is basically reporting on an event. If somebody asks you, you went for a meeting yesterday, what happened? Then you tell them briefly the key points of the meeting. When you write it down, that's called a report, and it's very formal. Report writing is formal writing, okay? It's not just telling your friend, you know, I went, we had great fun. It's not that kind of report writing at all. It's writing in sentences that are formal and structured. So what does it do? It informs you about the event. It analyzes sometimes certain things. It depending on the topic. If you are not reporting on an event, you might be analyzing a topic, you might be analyzing a situation, you might be analyzing a policy. All those will come under report writing. You of course report on and you influence people. So what a report does is it can actually influence a buyer to buy something. It can influence people to change the way in which they work. It can influence people to protest against a certain decision that has been taken. So all of these things can happen with a report. So report is powerful. Now let's look at the requirements of a report. So the first thing that if you are doing an examination, you will be asked to do things like a title or a byline. A byline is like saying by Usha Pandit. That is a byline. Now a title is something you will also find in a newspaper. If it's a newspaper report, for example, you will find a title that goes there like a headline, and then below that you will have the byline of who has written that report. So there are several types of reports. There's newspaper, article, sales, medical, all kinds of academic texts, your history, geography, all these books are written in the reporting genre. So it's a very important and widely used genre. After I do this with you, I'm going to give you an example. So don't run away because that's the most important part and you need to understand it well. Okay, so after that, one of the things you need to remember is that you need to answer these questions in a report. What happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Who was involved? Why did it happen? And how did it end? These are your essential questions. So whatever you do, if you are writing a report on a school event, for example, you will still talk about who organized it, when did it happen, where did it happen, what time to what time did it take place, what were the various events, and how did it end? Was it successful? Isn't it? So the questions don't go anywhere. Whatever you're writing about, these five, the WHs and the how in the middle, that has to be answered. Excellent. Second is facts. Now you need to stick to facts. You can't use your imagination and write something. All that happened, if you're talking about a particular event, you need to focus on that. You cannot say something else. You can't use your imagination. One topic and one event is all that it will cover. So if you're talking about an accident, you can't tell me what happened in the hospital, how did the people cry. You don't go into all these various things. You focus on the event, one event, remember. A chronological sequence. What do you mean by chronology? Chronology means step by step from the beginning to the end. No, nothing dramatic. You don't start by saying the man was lying there in a pool of blood. No, it has to start at the beginning. Tell me exactly what happened and how the sequence followed. So chronological sequence. You need good action verbs, especially if you are writing about an event. You need to have good action verbs and you need to have good adjectives that describe. If you are talking about a fun fair, I want to know what it looked like. What did the place look like? How was it decorated? If you're talking about a whale that had been beached on the shore, I still need to know what the crowds looked like. So you do need good action verbs and you need adjectives. You need to write in the past tense because it is a past event. You're reporting about something that is over. So you cannot use anything but the past tense. In a lot of places you use what is called this timeless present tense. Bears are carnivorous animals. Suppose I say that are is a present tense, but it's a timeless present tense. It doesn't mean bears just now are carnivorous and then later on they become vegetarians. That's not what I mean at all, right? So therefore, you will have what is called the timeless present tense or normal events past tense. So these are the two tenses we use. The passive voice is used. Why is that? So what's a passive voice? The passive voice is where the subject is not very important. So if I say the cat killed the rat, the cat is the doer, the subject, and it's important in that sentence because it's an active sentence. If I say the rat was killed, I don't have to say by the cat. I just say the rat was killed. Passive voice. What is important in that sentence? The rat was killed. The event is important. By what? By the cat, by the storm, by the bait that was kept for it, by a car that went over it. It doesn't matter. The rat was killed is a passive sentence. So passive structures are what we are looking for because we don't want to know who did it, we want to know what happened. That seems to be more important than who did it. Shorter sentences, no run-ons. See these run-on sentences? This is the bane of writing, run-ons. Run-ons means you go on and on and on and you never stop the sentence. So you say there was an accident took place on Hughes Road, there were a lot of people there and the ambulance came and then the man was taken away to a hospital and because he was badly, see you go and then because etc., you go on, the sentence never ends. That is called a run-on sentence. Be very careful. In a report, shorter sentences are required because you want clarity. If you go on writing, you lose me. After some time, I'll get confused. So you do not write very long run-on sentences, shorter sentences. The ninth one is formal diction. As I said, no slang. You can't say the party was really cool, or you can't say the fun fair was really cool. There were lots of dudes and dudettes that came and danced. You can't talk like that because that is not formal writing, right? The fun fair was a great success. People had an enjoyable time. See, you want formal talk like that. You can say they had fun, but it's had an enjoyable time. Everyone said that it was well organized and that it was entertaining. So you need very, very formal diction. The last one there is you can give personal opinions and suggestions in your conclusion. So you might say it was an excellent event that was only marred by what? Something spoilt it in the end, or something spoilt it a little bit, or care should be taken in future to not allow cars to be parked outside the venue because people could not, there was a traffic jam at the end. So that might be a minus point that you might talk about in order to make it a perfect event in the future. So these are your requirements, 10 requirements for your report writing. Now you can write about positive events. It could be an exhibition, fun fair, birthday celebrations of your founder, Independence Day celebrations, rock concert, visit to a museum. It can be anything. Something that is planned and something that is looked forward to, organized meticulously and then presented to people. Or you can write a report on something that is unplanned and negative. Not everything, but most of the things when they come to you unplanned is often a surprise and often chaotic. See this word chaotic. C-H-A-O-T-I-C. Chaotic means full of chaos, confusion, because it's not planned. So you might have to write a report on an unplanned event, like an accident is not planned and certainly not desirable. A theft, you might have a report on a theft. You might have what is called a police report. So police reports are also, we'll put that here, police report on a theft, or you might have a bank robbery, right? A report on a bank robbery, or you might have a report on a fire or on an earthquake, or you might have noise during festivals. You can also have general reports on noise during festivals or a pollution report. Now, whenever you write reports, you will have a lot of evidence that is gathered because we are looking at facts. So, you can't just write about pollution as if you are writing an essay. When you are writing a report, it has to be factual and there has to be a lot of good reasons why you are saying what you are saying. Ideally, it should be linked to a certain number of events which may be planned or unplanned. So, you have to decide which one you are reporting on and remember one event or one focus. So, I think we have covered most of it here. Now, I am going to talk to you about both planned and unplanned. I am going to teach you how to make notes on the planned event and on the unplanned one by using a very simple format. Okay? So, wait. So, let us look at the format of the report. Okay? So, essentially you have your title, which might be something like exhibition of textiles, and then you have the byline, as I told you, by whom? By Usha Pandit. Now, in your examination they might give you a name to write. They might say you have to say Karthik or Karthika if you are a girl. They might also tell you what the event is. So, they will give you a lot of information in that question itself. If you are writing a general report, also you will need to put some kind of a title so that people know what you are writing about and who's writing it. And then of course, you will have the date, place and time of the report. And then you have an introduction which is basically going to, now formats will change depending on what your examination wants. You need to find out where they want you to put all this information. Some people say you need to put it here, some people say you need to put it this side or below. That's something for that your teacher or your guide will show you where to put that format, because those formats are special and specific to certain examinations. But remember, a format in itself is not everything. So, a format will give you a certain number of marks, and whether you write it on the right or the left is all that you just need to find out, and then write it on the right or the left. That does not require any deep practice. What you need as practice is how to write a report so that your content, which is probably 50% of your marks, does not go down the drain. So that's why I'm showing you how to do it. So your introduction, that passage will repeat the facts above, that it's an exhibition and it's this, and how do you do that? An exhibition of textiles. If it has a name, you put that name there. So the name of the exhibition, if you have a name, so the name of the exhibition will come there. Was organized. Now this was organized is passive voice, and that is very, very common. You will not say an accident was organized. Remember, for all positive events that you are talking about, this was organized by an organization again. So the name of the organization, it could be your school, it could be your college, it could be some blood donation society, it could be anything. So the organization's name on what date? Day and date. On 15th September, on 16th February, whatever it is, 2019, 2018, whatever your date, at and the place. So what place is it? Was it at Mumbai? Was it at Delhi? Was it in the school campus? So depending upon your place, you need to fill that place in. Between the beginning and the end time, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. and that's it. So if you give all this information, your first paragraph introduces the details of the report, the physical details of the report you have now made available to the reader. And you write the purpose. For what? So certain exhibitions are done for promotion of artists. Certain exhibitions are done because you want to raise funds for the handicapped. Certain exhibitions are done because they want to entertain groups of people, or it might be because they want to bring together some kind of integration into communities. So it can be for many purposes. So you write what the purpose was, if there is a purpose. Very often this purpose is given to you in the question itself, then you can use just that purpose. When you finish this introduction, which is a good introduction, very, very meaty, you put all the details, you come to the body. In this body, you are going to answer these questions. What happened? Not the when and where. You have done the when, you have done the where, you have done the why, haven't you? Now you are going to talk about who participated, what happened, and how did it go. 3 questions for body. So for what happened, you are going to tell me 1, 2, 3 or 4 points. So depending upon the textile exhibition, you might tell me that there were colorful textiles from all across India. What is the other one? You will say several artisans had come with a lot of accessories. There were songs and dances in various places. People had a wonderful time looking at the color and the variety of India. You might say a lot of foreign tourists attended the function and made it a great success because there was huge amount of trade that was done. There were also some artisans who were given contracts by people abroad for merchandise, for their merchandise in order to be exported abroad. So you might say many things depending upon what happened in your exhibition. If you are talking about a school fun fair, you will talk about the stalls. You will talk about the unusual activity. So one unusual one you put in there. USUAL. One unusual event. One event that stands out in these 3, 4, you must put that in. Don't put the same stuff that everyone is going to talk about. Say something different and automatically it will become, the reader will be interested, right? So you finish your body. Don't write long sentences. Don't write go out of focus. Maintain one sentence per, even if you take 4 sentences here or 5, 6 sentences here, your body will be very good. And finally, you go for a conclusion where you talk about who the chief guest was, his name, his message, what did he say about it, and then a vote of thanks that was given by maybe your principal, or the vote of thanks that was given by an eminent person who was your trustee, and how he thanked and what, and then praise it. Say that it was an amazing success, it was an astounding success, it was extremely successful, whatever words you want to put, adverbs you want to put, you put it there and praise it. Or you can give some suggestions, like I said, that it could have been better had they had some more color, had they had some entertainment going along with it, or had they given, had they videoed the entire show because it was so colorful, had they had the press coming and covering more of the events. Give any suggestion you want. And then finally, the action that is called for, that in future this is what you should be doing to make it an even better success. Finally, your signature. In an exam, you will put whatever signature they have asked you to put, and your designation. Maybe you are a secretary of an association, maybe you are the general secretary of the college, maybe you are the school head boy. So you put that designation and your report is done. You will get excellent marks if you do this. Let's look at 2 samples in note making. So one of the things that they will also ask you to do with report writing is note making. Remember, when you write reports, normally you would do some research, right? So you would have statistics on people who sell textiles in India. You might say this is the state that has the largest number of textile mills. These are all research items that sometimes people put into reports. Now here in the note making part is where you will make notes on what you want to write. The examiner wants to know whether you know how to plan. So I have put 2 planning notes for you, one on the positive and one on the negative events. The positive event, let us say you are talking about Independence Day, I would use talk about that the campus or the school grounds wore a festive look. Now that's a good one to say. You know, it's got a certain kind of personification, metaphor kind of thing, wore a festive look. So I would put that a dot there and say wore a festive look. I am going to use that in my report. The place, the whole event had a patriotic fervor. Now that's a good word. See, I am choosing my vocabulary, I am thinking about what to write, then I just need to write those sentences down. I might say there was a plethora, look at that word, good language, a plethora of songs and dances in tricolor. So because it was Independence Day, everybody was dressed in saffron, white and green. So in tricolor, there was a plethora of songs and dances. I might say the refreshments, which was barfi, was made in tricolor again. So that makes it special, the event. A pledge was taken, and then talk about the chief guest speech, which talked to you about how patriotism is connected with work and not with slogans. More than the flag is just a symbol. It's all about how much work children need to do as citizens. Might be something he said. Very briefly put that down, and you've got a fantastic report coming up there. Your body has been taken care of with some excellent points. Okay. Now let's come to the negative. The negative, let's say, is an accident. So I would say X, so many people, 3 people or 2 people were killed in a nightmarish accident. Rammed into a trailer. What happened? See, I am doing the what happened. What happened in the notes? It rammed. Their car, their Maruti van rammed into a truck, into a trailer truck. So rammed is a good word to use. Overloaded truck. What was the truck like? What was the problem? It was overloaded. And then the car was dragged 6 kilometers. So you beautifully, you have almost, I can see the accident, and the report is very clear as to what exactly happened. Was it a head-on collision that crushed the van? Here it is not that, it has hit it and then dragged the car for a long time. So that is what you do with your notes. The fork. Now you are coming to the part where you are giving the suggestions on the conclusion. You are saying the fork on that Mumbai-Pune highway is dangerous. You are saying we need traffic signals, or we need speed breakers, or we need something like that to stop regular fatalities. Constantly people are dying on that place, so regular fatalities on that need to be stopped by giving us traffic signals or speed breakers. The hospital was not within reach. This might be something, again, because it's a highway and this is a cause for concern. So the report will then say that these are the kind of remedies that need to be put in place. Now again you've got a negative one, and beautifully done. So it doesn't become this, it will stand out if you write like that. Otherwise, in a formula report, everybody is writing the same thing. Everybody is going to write the same flag hoisting. Everyone is going to write about the same accident and people being taken away by an ambulance. How is yours going to stand out to get those extra points? This is how you do it. So today I have shown you many things. I have shown you format, I have shown you note making and planning. I have talked to you about the requirements of a report. There is absolutely nothing more that you need in report writing to get very, very good grades in your examination. So do subscribe to our channel, make sure you press the bell notification, go to our website, and this is the book you want, Writing with Ease, which has report writing in it, and you will find that very, very useful. So do comment in the box if you like this video, and till we meet again, keep practicing.